Hudson's Adventure Island is an evil, evil video game. Don't let the cute graphics, funny faces, and bright color palettes fool you. The game will rip your soul out of your chest, stomp on it, and hawk it to Satan for a quick fix. So, obviously, we're gonna play Hudson's Adventure Island. Until we win. Adventure Island was developed by Hudson Soft Company Limited, although there are mentions of a company called Escape, which, upon digging, was actually a company called Westone Company Limited, another Japanese company that made the Wonder Boy games. I don't really know the etymology of Westone. The company never really disappears until recently. Sometime this year, the Westone website just shows a directory index, but right up until then, it appeared to be an active Japanese company. I only bring up Westone because apparently Adventure Island started life off as an arcade port of Wonder Boy, the Sega arcade game. Well, Hudson Soft somewhere along the way obtains the rights to developing a port of Wonder Boy, but along the way decides that instead of porting Wonder Boy, they would make a different game based around a guy called Master Higgins. There's more to this story somewhere, but for the life of me, I can't find it. I suspect the rights to the Wonder Boy port lapsed or were revoked in some manner when Sega moved away from arcade games and focused on the home consoles. I just don't know what was the impetus for moving away from being a Wonder Boy port to a unique game. Adventure Island came out on September 12, 1986 on the Famicom and the MSX. Yeah, somewhere out there is an MSX version of Adventure Island. You know, it's amazing how many Famicom games also came out on the MSX and the MSX2. Huh. This game is very easy to pick up and play, but incredibly difficult to master. You move to the right, you pick up fruit, avoid enemies and obstacles, and finish each stage before you run out of time. Simple, right? Well, no. Not even close. You see, Master Higgins here is a slave. He's a slave to the whims of physics, and this game is as much as a physics problem as it is a platformer. Specifically, your momentum in this game is a pain in the butt. Sliding is the #1 problem in this game. Not that it's an unnatural slide, it feels fine, but the problem is that this game is built around that momentum, and there are a lot of death traps based around your momentum. But before we get into what's going to kill your caveman ass, let's talk about the good things that'll help you along the way. Food is plentiful. Apples, bananas, tomatoes, carrots, and pots of gold feed you and replenish the timer bar at the top of the screen. Eggs can be cracked open and give you special items from weapons to skateboards, milk, and flying eggplants. We'll talk about those little fuckers in a second. There are 2 weapons in this game, the axe and the fireball nunchucks. They both accomplish the same thing, but with different trajectories. But the fireball nunchucks can also destroy some other obstacles. The skateboard lets you move faster, but it doesn't let you stop, making some jumps exceedingly difficult or impossible. If you run into an obstacle or an enemy, you won't die, but the skateboard will disappear. Milk comes in 2 colors, white and red. I don't know why red milk exists in this game, but they both restore your timer to full. Rings are in hidden eggs and are exceedingly rare. They give you 2,000 points. If you collect 3 of these in a row, the next hidden egg will have a 1-up. The 1-up doll is literally just that. It's a small Master Higgins in doll form, and it gives you an extra life. I mean, there's nothing else I can tell you about it. There's also the fairy, which is actually called Honey Girl. It makes you invulnerable for a short amount of time, because that's what pixies do, apparently. The floating pot is just a point bonus, which is applied at the end of the stage. Keys are pretty cool. They unlock a hidden bonus stage. Unfortunately, I'm an idiot and skipped the bonus stage, so I don't have any footage of it. Sorry. The flower will double all the food point bonuses for that stage. There's also a Famicom controller, which is actually pretty rare to find. It'll give you a 1,000 point bonus. The Hudson Bee is something that can be found at the beginning of the first stage, and when obtained, allows you to continue your game by pressing right on the control pad and start on the title screen. Yeah, I skipped the bee. There are bad things in this game. Lots of bad things. Bad things that will kill you badly. Have I mentioned this game is out to kill you? The eggplant is a special item you can find in eggs, and it's apparently Master Higgins' least favorite food according to the manual. When you get the eggplant, it'll follow you around and rapidly drain your timer until you've only got 1 or 2 bars left. You know, this is such garbage. Why the hell does the eggplant have such a bad rep? From the eggplant wizard to this, the eggplant is consistently crapped on in the video game world. I mean, what the hell? Eggplants are awesome! Eggplant Parmesan Ratatouille, Baba Ganoush, Baijian Barda, Moussaka, eggplant croquettes, eggplant curry, Chinese eggplant to hot and sour, eggplant burgers, grilled eggplant salad, eggplant lasagna, eggplant casserole, deep fried eggplant, pan fried eggplant, eggplant french fries, eggplant rollatini, smoked eggplant soup, pasta melanzana, eggplant crisp, eggplants and wild rice, eggplant antipasto, eggplant pizza, eggplant wraps, maldizano, eggplant spread, eggplant and caviar, eggplant loaf, eggplant and meat tomato sauce, eggplant and portobello stackers, fried eggplant and saffron mayonnaise. My God, the list just goes on and on. Forrest Gump and his special ed shrimp ain't got shit on my eggplants. Oh well. There are other enemies in this game. Snail, the snail, yes, that's his name, Snail, is a basic enemy that moves slowly. Sometimes they can shift just out of position to screw up a jump, but for the most part, they don't pose a huge problem and aren't found later in the game. Cobras are the fire-breathing snakes who hang out behind rocks. I found these guys astonishingly annoying until I figured out how they work. When they first appear on screen, they may or may not shoot a fireball at you. After that, the only time they'll really fire at you is when you miss by throwing an axe. So don't go spamming your axe and you'll be fine around them. Pooter is a little pig that wanders on the screen occasionally. They don't appear in the second half of the game. Leave Pooter alone. I like Pooter. Stupid name. Pooter. Pooter, 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 Poop, 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 Pooter. Pooty, 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 Pooter. Pooty, 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 pata, pooty, pata, pita, pata, pooty, pata, pooty, pata, pooty. Pooter, 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 pooter. Pooter, 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 pooter. Poo. Skeletons, as they're called in the game, are actually skulls that have fireballs floating around them. I don't know why they're called skeletons. They're usually found in caves, but will also pop up in forest areas from time to time. They're not that big of a problem as they're stationary, but they often come in groups of 3, making movement around them a tad difficult. Baser are the annoying bats that like to swoop down from the ceiling and completely and utterly screw up your complicated jumps. They're best dealt with a weapon, but can also be jumped over if you time it carefully. Zigmo, and now we're just getting silly with the names, are the spiders that you usually find in the forest area. Some of them move up and down, but they're not really a huge problem until later in the game, when their numbers can properly be described as a horde. Kavas are the small brown birds that fly in groups of 3 or more. They're hard to deal with because of their size, but if you're careful, you can jump through them and not worry too much, but they are pretty easily killed as well. Kello. Kello is a frog. It comes in 2 different flavors, the ones that stand still, and the single most devious bastards in the game that jump forward. That's right, the most difficult enemies in this game are frogs that jump forward. Kello takes 2 hits to take down, and their jumps are incredibly difficult to time. If you're not in position before they jump, you're dead. Now there is some good news about Kello. If you just run forward, the jumping animation is just timed well enough for you to completely avoid them. This doesn't help later on in the game, though, when there are ledges to avoid, but still, at least you know. Knowing is half the battle. And Pooter would want you to know. God bless Pooter. Oct are the octopus-looking things that are floating in the air and jump up in certain levels. You really just need to time their jumps to get around them. They're not as bad as any other octopus in any other video game. Coyotes are annoying animals that run up to you very quickly. They're not the most dangerous, but they can take you by surprise, and oddly enough, they look less like coyotes and more like Ewoks. Finally, there's the Witch Doctor. This is the end of area boss, and he is so incredibly easy. I died once, maybe twice, to the Witch Doctor. He's an interesting boss. You just need to hit him in the head to do damage. He'll move back and forth and occasionally throw a fireball at you. Oh wait, I'm sorry. You don't know who the Witch Doctor is? Well, let me introduce you to him. This behemoth of a thing is the Witch Doctor, and he wears many hats. He's also probably the easiest stage boss you'll ever meet. His tactic is literally to walk left and right, throw a fireball once in a while, and just take a beating from you. The only reason you should ever have a problem with him is if you don't have an axe and can't attack him. And then I guess beating him would probably be a bit of a problem. Now the stages. Well, I'm not really going to go one by one through the stages because they're really similar, like incredibly similar. There are 8 stages, and stage 4 is essentially repeated about 4 times in this game. And no, I'm not making that up. The last few levels are literally the same exact level, just with different enemy placement. I mean, this game is very similar all around, so I'm not going to give you a stage-by-stage guide here, but let's talk a couple of pointers. The one thing you need to learn about in this game is physics. The physics in this game suck. You run around like you're on ice constantly, and it's not helped with the ice stage. And I'm not going to lie, this is going to cause you to die. A lot. But then again, so is everything else in this game, except for the snails. Fuck the snails. This game is a long, hard fight, and let me tell you something. The last set of falling platforms that's got a lot of bats flying around it, that can eat my dick. They could probably eat Pooter's dick, too. Once you get past all of that, though, you should be good to go. I thank God the Witch Doctor is such a pansy boss. Thanks to our Patreon supporters, JimPan666, The Enforcer, Joe Ortega, Carlos Antonio, and all of you at the 55, 10, 20, and unsupported levels. Thank you for supporting us. You could support until we win on Patreon at patreon.com/LordCat. Don't forget to pick up your tickets for XP Fest at xpfest.com. Pooter, 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 pooter. There once was a pig named Pooter who ran across a field. He was so free from everything, and then a shot rang out from the field. Pooter lay there dying, unknown to himself. He was a free-range pig, and now he's in my stomach. Pooter.